COVID kind of put everybody's timelines out.
Crazy stuff. She was very when you call the same thing, so we had 18 at the college, and he's taught her how to check out drive them over. She's always a snowmobile, so you can hear her during the week as it spreads out.
Yeah, no worries, whatever. Yeah.
We need to know stuff. She can't always do it.
That's insane. And that's US dollars. So that's like 25,000, 22,000. Yeah. And it's a cheap car in the best of times. Because there's no cars in there. Yeah.
That's really, yeah, that's really
Down there?
yeah.
Oh, winter bed.
I was looking at clips of actual presidents, you know, before all the plants. Yeah, I know. I love those.
Oh, that was so Sunday as well. I don't know if you knew Mindy's mother died.
I just spoke to Jeremy. Looks exact same. That's different. That's Mrs. Cohen. Betty Cohen. Yeah, I forgot her.
She hasn't had any quality
This
life.
is Helen Strauss. This okay. And then look how
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention for a moment? The service will begin momentarily. At this time, if you do have a cell phone or any other electronic device, please turn it off or put it on vibration. Thank you.
with me. You're going to have all your family join you in front of the casket. Gather together for support. Hey, all when you're ready, please do that too.
On behalf of our families, I release you as we now resume our traditional responsibilities.
It's my order. I'm still coming else.
Thank you.
Family reserve rows in the cart. Please take a seat. Thank you.
Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi Tamid Ki mimini balemot Lachen samach libi Vayagel kevodi Af besari Yishkon lavetach Ki lo tazov nafshi lishol Lo titen chasidcha lirot shachad Todieni orachayim Orachayim Sova simachot et panecha Ne'imot bimincha netzach Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi tamid Ki mimini balemot Esa einai leharim me'ayin yavo Ezri me'im Adonai Ose shamayim va'aretz Ayiten lamot raglecha Ayanum shomrecha Hine lo yanum v'lo yishan shomer Yisrael Adonai shomrecha Adonai tzilcha yad yaminecha Yomam hashemesh lo yakeka V'yareach balayla Adonai yishmorcha mikol ra Yishmor et nafshecha Adonai yishmor tzedcha uvrecha ne'ata ne'ata me'ata ve'ad olam.
Good morning. My name is Rabbi Eliza McCarroll, and this is cantorial soloist Lindy Rivers from the Holy Blossom Temple. And it is our honor to join with you today as we join our hearts to give comfort and strength to the family of Nancy Theimer of blessed memory. Mourning is a time filled with many emotions and memories, both bitter and sweet. We have begun our service with the recitation of psalms and prayers, the core of our memorial, thus linking Nancy's life with the millennia-old tradition of the people of Israel and the eternity of God. We continue some of these psalms and readings based on Ecclesiastes. Kohelet Ecclesiastes wrote, "The eye never has its fill of seeing. Young or old, those who depart this life never see enough of the world, never complete their task, never cherish their loved ones enough before they are called home. How they yearned for yet another respite from the final summons, and how we yearned to have them close to us for yet another challenge in our lives, yet another joy, yet another precious moment together. God, be now with those whose hearts are broken because whenever parting comes, it comes too soon. Console them at this moment. Be near to them when light seems distant. Sustain them, O God, until the time of healing." I would like to now call Nancy's daughter Lisa as we share a few words about Nancy this morning.
Great. Okay, thank you. Sorry. Okay, so this is going to be a little more disjointed than it was for my dad's. Because my dad we knew was coming, but this we didn't. And I forgot the phone. My daughter wanted to say something too, so I should play that later then? Okay, don't let me forget because I'll hear about it. Okay, thank you. For my mom, I was thinking, I always like a theme, so I was thinking about, in my line of work, we have a course that we often teach that has the 4 S's and the 4 I's, so I was thinking about the 4 L's for my mom. So one is love, and how much she loved everybody, and her family and her friends, and one thing that was kind of special was that, even when she couldn't talk anymore, at least people could call and I could hold the phone up to her and she could hear from everybody personally how much people loved and cared about her. So she did get that opportunity to realize that. And so I really appreciate everybody who felt able to do that. And then the amount of, I put on Facebook once the, excuse me, well, this connects here, what am I doing? And that, the wonderful things that everybody was saying about her, so it really meant a lot. And the themes that seemed to come, also when I was calling all the doctors and everybody else, to let them know, because this was really fast. It was 2.5 weeks, basically, from when she got sick to now. So they were all talking about, well, everybody was in shock, but they were also talking about what a lovely person she was and what a good friend she was, and even that she was more than a client, and how much they enjoyed their conversations with her and how social she was. So she had an impact on a positive impact on a lot of people's lives. So there was a lot of love there. And then for her family, you know, even when she was always there for us, and she always said, you know, I want to make sure that I have time with each of you, because there were 4 of us, and it was a busy house. So, and you know, she was working and everything. So, but I remember her once saying to me, you know, she said, I try to make sure that I have at least one-on-one time with each of you, so that we have our own particular memories with each other, and how important that was to her. And then love for her friends. So. And a crazy, incredible memory too. So she would remember everybody's stories and everything, and she would say, "Oh, I went to this concert with this person, and I went to a play." And I'm sorry, I'm a little disjointed today. So, the other thing I wanted to say is that she raised a very strong family support, and we've all been here for each other, and I really appreciate that very much. And so I wanted to thank her for that as well, and to thank my friends who've always been there for me too. So, so please, I have to keep to 2 minutes, sorry. Okay, and then the other L is learning, and how much my mom loved to learn. So even when the pandemic came, and you know, I said, how are you doing? And she says, I'm so bored, because she wasn't allowed to go out and do all of her things on the town. But then she found other things to do. So thank you to Zoom, which is allowing people who couldn't be here today to participate as well. And thank you to Zoom, because what we ended up doing is every week we had a family Zoom call. So in a weird way, we've seen more of each other over the past 2 years than we did before, because I live in Vancouver, Paul lives in Edmonton, so we are a little more scattered. But it kind of brought us together at least once a week. So I think I really appreciate that as well. Thank you. And the other thing that Zoom allowed her to do is she did her book clubs through Holy Blossom, and Cynthia Good and everything. She really enjoyed that. And every week we were checking to see what was on Lockdown University. And so she was attending her courses on that, and a wide range of interests, be it historical or art or music. So, and then if I was visiting, I would be listening in too. So I had to learn too. Is that. And then there was some stuff about, what's the word I want? Technology. And she used to be a real technophobe. I think we mentioned that. But then she learned to use Google. So she got a Google, and at first we were going like, oh, what's this for? But every morning it was, okay, Google, tell me about my day. And she would hear the news, and she would hear that. And then this morning, I did that. We didn't listen to the news part, but then I did the other thing she loved, which is, okay, Google, tell me what the animal of the day was. And it was a puffin. And my mom and I just went to Newfoundland in the summer, and we saw puffins. So I just thought that's my mom saying, you know, I'm here, I'm with you, because here's a Newfoundland connection. I'm wearing my Newfoundland earrings. So I just felt like my mom was with me this morning. So that was the learning piece, and her books and everything. And then also thank you to North York Senior Center, because they had trivia nights. And then the other one, the next tell would be life. She had a real zest for life and travel and everything. And actually we were in the middle of planning a trip all together for her 90th. And my mom loved to plan things. She always had lists of everything. Like we'd wake up in the morning, we'd go into the bathroom, and there was our list of things to do. So she was a real organizer, a real planner. And sorry, my mind's going. And so that's the trouble. But she always was out and doing, and I think one of her friends was talking about how when everything was closed down, they went driving places for like 4 hours and then would get coffee. And then, and I just want to tell one little tiny funny story quickly. So she kind of had a mischievous streak to her. And so the one story I remember from her childhood is she was saying that she had to take piano lessons, and she didn't want to take them, and her stepfather and her mother said she had to. And so then she would practice like at 6 in the morning, which is not exactly it. They would say, like, what are you doing at 6 in the morning? She says, I'm practicing. So that was very mom. Yeah. And, oh my God, I am a little mad. And then, the last L is me. So, because I'm Lisa. Anyway, I just want to say she was always, you know, she liked taking me shopping. We all traveled together. I got to stay with her, so I'm very grateful for that. And even if she didn't always understand some things from me, she was always there to be supportive when I needed her. You know, we had things in life that she would fly out to Vancouver to support me in times of trouble. And she always welcomed all of my friends, You know, all our friends, there's often many more than just us there at the table. And I think I better leave time for other people. Thank you very much. Bye. Oh, I have to pay Jillian's. Do you want me to Brian first and then Jillian? Yeah. Okay. Hi.
I want to thank you all for being here today to support our family. I want to share our gratitude. I want to share my gratitude to you, Mom, for all that you've provided for me during the nearly 60 years of my life. I'm grateful for your encouraging me and appreciation of the outdoors through many camping trips, hikes, and sending me to summer camp. At camp, I learned to love rocks that ultimately led to my geology career. I'm grateful for the many trips you took the family on, including the Bahamas, Kenora, the Rockies, the Adirondacks, the Maritimes, Florida, and BC. I have many, many happy memories from these adventures. I'm grateful for your instilling culture to me. You bought us children's encyclopedia that we actually read. We watched PBS together. You took me to the King Tut exhibit that sparked my interest in archaeology. You bought me subscriptions to many scientific magazines. You took us to plays, concerts, and musicals. I enjoyed some of the many hundreds of books that once filled the shelves of our house. I'm grateful for the time you took to drive out to Waterloo to watch me act in a BIT University play. I'm grateful to you for instilling Judaism in me. You helped me through my bar mitzvah. You sent me to Israel for a youth tour that was indelible. You hosted Passover Seders that were laugh-filled and set the bar high for food. I was glad we could attend Yom Kippur services together, not to mention the many visits to Yitz's, the Noshri, and the breaking of fast with bagels, pastrami, and smoked salmon. These traditions will continue. I'm grateful for your support in paying my undergraduate tuition and covering my first car that gave me a head start in life without burdensome loans. I'm grateful for your coaching and moral support in raising two adorable children who were not always perfect. I'm grateful for the example you set in the dedicated and constant care of your own mother, then later my father. I hope I carry that on with you. I'm grateful for your ongoing support to me through some lows in my personal life. You were always listening. I'm grateful for the daily work invested in raising me. Even with the job, groceries, dinner prep, and squabbling to pacify, you found time for a game of cribbage. I'm grateful for your example of keeping an impressive number of friends, so many of whom who are now gone and who would have been here today. Even last month, the patient in the bed next to you found you funny, warm, and engaging. I will miss your talent for stories with meandering asides on everything and everyone related. But man, that also meant you could leave some very long phone messages. Mom, I suppose having reached the age of 89, we should be grateful for all the time we did have. Yet I still greatly look forward to more conversations and concerts. Your memory will be a blessing.
Where's Leah? Leah, this is for you. Because I am not organized, Mom. I'm sorry. I wasn't going to get up and say anything, but because I forgot my phone and I'm supposed to give a message to Leah or from Leah, so that gets me up here. And so first I'm going to speak on behalf of Leah, my sister-in-law, Paul's wife, who couldn't make it today. Leah says, Mom, I love you. And thank you for accepting me in the family. And so many laughs. And oh my God, Leah was like the peacemaker in the family. So Leah, I'm going to throw in some words for you. Leah remembered, and sorry, Leah, if I'm not getting word for word, but that's me not being organized, like I said, and not having my phone with me, so I could record it, or it's whatever. Anyway. Leah remembers the time when we all went to the Adirondacks and we were singing oh my God, what's it called? Lisa, help me out on this. Sound of Music, thank you. The Sound of Music, and we're all dancing and, having fun and stuff. So, so Leah says, I love you, Mom, and I'll miss you. And so that's from Leah. And for me, So much to say, so much to say. I know I really miss you, Mom. And I don't know how many shopping. She loved to shop. And she loved to shop and shop. Oh, wait, more shopping. And we used to have a lot of great time shopping. Did I mention shopping? I think I did. Anyway, and I'm not sure who came out with more bags of clothes, me or Mom. And shit, this really sucks. Anyway, and I remember when they were moving and I was helping her unpack or pack. How many purses can one person have? I think I counted like, and umbrellas, thank you. And umbrellas, I think there was probably like 20 to 25 umbrellas and probably like, oh, I don't know, close to that many purses. So I don't know, we probably could have opened up a small store. So anyway, my mom loved to shop. She loved just, yeah, that's all I can say. So thank you everybody for being here. And this sucks. Anyway, thank you. Goodbye, Mom. That's it.
So, my daughter Jillian. Oh, sorry. Of course. So I'm hoping this works. So my daughter Jillian was unable to come. She's in Vancouver and she has like exams. Anyway, there's a lot going on. So she did send me a voicemail, which I hope I do without her help, since she's the one I go to for technology. Here we go. Oh, helps if I turn on the sound. Okay.
All that I can think to say that is worth saying right now is that I love you.
Okay, just a second. Is there? So if I go like this?
On the bottom.
See, this is why I need some help with technology. Sorry?
Put it on speakerphone.
How do I do that? I've got it on and.
Just turn up the volume and put the bottom of the phone next to the mic.
Oh, put it like this. Okay, I'll try it again. And if not, then oh, sorry, Julia, I'm going the wrong way. She's used to this. This is where she goes, oh, Mom.
All that I can think to say that is worth saying right now is that I love you and I miss you. Thank you for instilling a sense of adventure in me, one that I will carry through to all of my friends and family to come and those that I currently have. And I stand by what I said before. I'm going to get to see you on my next adventure in the next lifetime and in this one and every one I go on, where I collect numbers and faces and names that I hold with me and make grand tales for all the little bits of art and for every person I get to witness expressing their passion to as many people as who will listen and partake in it. I'll see a wiry smile and a laugh that could fill a room. I love you. I miss you. Thank you for being there with me my whole life so far and for all my years to come.
There we go.
Just to be real quick here, and speaking on behalf of my wife, Leah, she was unfortunately unable to attend due to medical issues, and with a 5-hour plane ride creating adverse medical issues, she was not able to attend. And I will say my final goodbyes to Mother, and thank you for bringing me into the world. Goodbye, Mother.
Thank you so much to Nancy's family for those beautiful words of memory and for those beautiful traits that they shared about their beloved mother and grandmother. There is a parable in our Mishnah, an ancient collection of rabbinic interpretations, which goes as follows. A human being mints many coins from the same mold, and they are all identical. But the Holy One, blessed by God, strikes us all from the mold of the first human, and each one of us is unique. In learning about Nancy, now of blessed memory, I learned that she was a woman who had many sides to her extraordinarily unique coin, which gave us the holistic picture, which gives us the holistic picture of the woman that we're remembering today. And this, according to her family, is exactly how she would have wanted it. There was, I discovered, a spirited side, described by her children, Lisa, Brian, Paul, and Karen, those coins that she minted as feisty and determined. This strong-willed streak meant that she refused to let anything slow her down, even when her sight was beginning to fail, or when she fell, or when she quit smoking at 40. We can understand that in minting a coin, the precious metal can come under pressure. She always pushed to keep going, raising her 4 children whilst working full-time as a social worker, together with her husband Peter, Zichrono Livracha, of blessed memory, as he also worked many, many hours. She pushed her children to keep going too, as her own fierce desire for independence meant that she wished the same for them. Over time, however, as the pressure on this beautiful coin was released, the design became more mellow. She also cared to an extent about how shiny the coin appeared, enjoying, as both of her daughters have mentioned, the shopping, and enjoying the ability to, quote Paul, dress to the nines in bright colours and stripes, or to have her hair done. In fact, one of Karen's most recent memories that she shared was of trying out a new facial treatment on Nancy, and one of her caregivers, Arlene, and the family are so grateful to all of her caregivers. And they shared much laughter together, as we heard. They also not long ago went to a spa in Newmarket that they'd been hoping to go for years, followed by lunch and then going back to Nancy's condo. It speaks to that one-on-one time that Lisa referred to, which Nancy treasured with her children across their shared lives, despite being so incredibly busy. These are, in Karen's words, special moments with her mum that she will cherish forever. And this brings us to the side of Nancy's coin that was deeply devoted to her family. And this is what Brian was speaking about so beautifully. Nancy was raised by her mother, Leola, as well as Leo Frankel, the man who was effectively her father and who adopted her after adopting her shortly after the death of her biological father, Bernard Glickman, when she was 6 years old. She was then the devoted wife of her husband, Peter, Zichrono Livracha, for 63 years, including caregiving for him towards the end of his life in 2019. We've mentioned her children and heard from them, yet we would be remiss not to mention her daughters-in-law, Leah and Murray, and her other treasures, her grandchildren, Gillian, Jeremy, and Monique. She enjoyed nothing more than being with them, always helping with them where she could and taking them on the many adventures we've heard about, with those many happy memories shared of camping and nature expeditions, including that special trip to Newfoundland just this past summer. Her devotion ran deep to her extended family too, with those Zoom calls that we talked about every week from the time that the pandemic started, and the upcoming trip in honor of her 90th birthday that she was planning before illness took her, and too soon, in the words of her family. This characteristic revealed to us the side of Nancy's coin that was sharp as a tack. She always had plans and was always on the phone, leaving those long messages with friends and family. She was brilliantly intelligent, having studied for her BA at Cornell University and the University of Toronto, and her MA at York University. She had a wonderfully active mind, satisfying her intellectual curiosity with many interests, from gardening to pottery to movies to theatre to opera to art to sports, with a special love for the Blue Jays, and to cooking. She allegedly had over 200 cookbooks, to travel, as we've heard so much about so fondly. Being an aficionado of the arts, Nancy frequented the Art Gallery of Ontario, the Royal Ontario Museum, the Toronto Symphony Orchestra, the Toronto International Film Festival, the Jewish Film Festival in Toronto, and many other arts and culture institutions. Through her job as a social worker, Nancy knew the city like the back of her hand, according to Paul. She was proud to be a Torontonian and a Canadian, having been originally born in Montreal, with an affinity for history and being politically aware of everything going on in our country and in our world, from the school strikes to Ukraine, and watching 3 sets of news every single night, even if she fell asleep during them. She was, in short, and as described by her children, cultured and classy, and was the one who taught them to be the same. She continued to demonstrate the same active mind in recent years, for example, through Lockdown University, the book club at Holy Blossom Temple, or reading or listening to countless books, which Lisa would bring up to the hospital with her until as recently as up until the week before Nancy died. It was this sharpness that fueled her social nature, whether it was with her friends of multiple decades, for Nancy was loyal to the core, with her amazing caregivers as age took its toll, or even with the average store attendant. Being so bright and capable, she definitely preferred to be spoken to directly and not through someone else, for she had a fantastic memory. Finally, being a proud Jew and thus embedded in a tradition of storytelling, she was described by her children as being the best storyteller in the family. In true Jewish fashion, if you expected a simple 3-word answer, you would end up with 5 paragraphs and several tangents. This is yet another testament to the side of Nancy's coin that was constantly flipping and turning and never standing still. We know that Nancy's family and loved ones will greatly miss this unique coin, that feisty redhead, gifted to us by God but now returned to God's realm. It is therefore up to us, made in that same mold, to keep telling her story of loyalty, determination, independence, and intelligence, and to find our own unique path forward. Zichrona livracha, may her memory be for a blessing. And we now move to our prayer of memorial at the El Malei Rachamim, as we pray for Nancy's soul to be sheltered under the wings of God's protection and God's presence.
Please rise. El Malei Rachamim shochen במרומים המצא מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה עם קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים את נשמת נחמה פגל בת דב שרגל פייבל וליונה שהלכה לעולמה בעל הרחמים יסתיריה בסתר כנפיו לעולמים ויצרור החיים את נשמתה אדוני הוא נחלתה ותנוח בשלום על משכבה ונאמר Amen.
Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to Nancy Theimer, who has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let her find refuge in your eternal presence, and let her soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is her inheritance. May she rest in peace, and let us say, Amen.
May I ask the designated holders to please come forward? Holders, please come forward.
מזמור לדוד, אדוני רואי לו אכסר, וינדש ירבין צבני, עמם יפות שינות עליני, לשיר שזך, ינחם במעגל צדק למען שמו, גם כי ילך בקצר מוות, לא ירא כי אתה עמדי. שבטך ומשנתך המה ינחמוני, תערוך לפני שולחן נגד צורריי, כי שנת בשמן ראשי כוסי רוויה, אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים.
For those of you joining in the procession to the Holy Mass in the Water Park, we ask that you turn on your high beam headlights and your four-way flashing hazard lights to identify yourselves as part of the procession. We do have the benefit of police located at our main intersection only. When you approach an unsupervised intersection, we ask that you obey all traffic lights and regulations. Everyone is invited to tune the radios to 96.5 FM for further service information. If you will kindly exit the rear doors of the chapel, we will bring you directly to your cars in the parking lot.
Back there.